Chris Crone here with Limitless TV. How to invest $1,000. Should I wait until I have more money? Is it worth it to begin investing if all I have is $1,000? All of those answers coming your way right now. $1,000, it could be $50, it could be $10,000, it could be $1 million. It's really not about the amount of money that you're starting with. It's about the strategy that you're using. And it's important for you to understand that it doesn't matter how much you have. Where should I invest my money to maximize my return? That's what this whole video is about. So whether you're starting with $1,000 or $1 million, the strategy for investing is the same with a smaller amount of money as it is with a larger amount of money. You know, I had a chance to finally get through this book that Warren Buffett had written called Snowball. And Warren Buffett made all of his money and in fact became the world's richest man because he made very careful investments. And he started small and then they snowballed. Imagine a snowball starting at the top of a snow-filled mountain. And what would happen as you start rolling it if it didn't stop? Well, it would get bigger and it would get bigger and it would get bigger and it would get bigger. And Warren Buffett built his entire empire that led to him giving 85% of it away to charity and doing tremendous good in the world near the end of his life with this very simple philosophy that you and I call buy low, sell high. What he did is he looked for companies or real estate that had high intrinsic value but had a low valuation. The high intrinsic value meant that it was eventually what he could buy it for was going to meet its true value. And so no matter the amount of money that you're starting with, you have the ability to do that. And so I'm going to give you some very specific ideas, but more importantly, principles of how you take a small amount of money, like $1,000, and turn it into so much more. In fact, at the end of the video, if you hang out, I'm going to actually share with you how I would use $1,000 if I were you, $1,000 that I used that made me my first $1 million. And that is a crazy return on investment because I'll show you how to leverage that $1,000 into massive opportunity with only a small amount. Perhaps nobody in your life has ever taught you how to invest. And that's okay. For most of us, we need to figure out how to do that on our own. And remember, it's not about the money, it's about the knowledge. How do I get the knowledge I need to do it right? I'll teach you how to properly invest. And I'm going to start by teaching you this one main important principle. $1,000 is more than enough to start with. Why? Because of the snowballing. The snowball means start with what you have and grow it. And you got to make sure that you're growing it with something aggressively. When you have $1,000, you got to be looking at doubling, tripling, or quadrupling the investment. With real estate, I can show you how to take $1,000 and in a short space of time turn that into $20,000 or $30,000. Well, $20,000 or $30,000 is a 20% down payment on a property that can turn into $50,000 or $100,000, that can turn into 3 or 4 more properties. And over a 10-year period of time, $1,000 is enough to get you where you want to go. For example, number one strategy I started with in real estate was lease options. And in a link below, if you click it, I'll actually share with you exactly how I leveraged the lease option model to buy several homes with no money, with no credit, and I controlled all of these assets, and I sold them, and I got to make a pile of money. In fact, I want to show you just a little bit of proof right now. I just had my accountant whip these up for me. I've got a house that just got sold here by my LLC that I own with my partner who put in his money. And you can see there, it made $49,686. Okay? This was a house that we bought using someone else's money, controlled the asset, cash flowed it, and these are just the proceeds that we made when we sold it, not even the tax benefits. This one right here in the top corner right here, $55,000 plus. This one right here, $90,000. This is an actual property that I got paid for, and I didn't put a dollar into this property. Here's another one. My partner and I made $77,000. Now, we had to pay back his down payment, and then we got to split the benefits, but that was the gross amount that came into the property. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars on properties that are owned for years that are then sold with this short-term buy and hold strategy. This is one right here for $95,789.26. This was paid out to Ron 12061, LLC. This is again one of my LLCs. These are examples of what you can do with $1,000 investment. These are real amounts of money. And if you want to know my specific strategy, then you can click below. But frankly, the more important thing is that you get the principle. And the principle is you don't need a lot of money to start with, and it's all about snowballing. How can I take $1,000 and turn it into $2,000? How do I take $2,000 and turn it into $10,000? How do I take $10,000 and turn it into $1 million? And how do I keep that going? It's the mindset that makes it happen and the pace at which you turn it over. Real estate will often hold for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. And in that space of time, all we're doing is rotating from one to the next. And then instead of just paying it all to me, we're rolling it to the next, and snowballing it bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can do that with as little as $1,000. Now, if you're still not clear on exactly what that might look like, click the link below and I'll show you exactly how I do it. Listen, if I could time machine myself all the way back to the beginning of my journey, I know exactly what I would do with my first $1,000. If you want to know what that is, click the link below. And what I'll do is I'll help show you how I amassed all the information that launched my personal empire.